The year is 2026, and the trap is almost completely closed. We have been lulled into a false sense of security by the convenience of digital numbers on a glowing screen. Numbers that the system can freeze, tax, or erase with a single, cold command from a central server. But Andrew here, and today we are reaching into the pockets of the last sovereign man to find a frequency they can't regulate. We are decoding the silver standard, John Wayne's personal strategy for economic defiance. You see, the Duke didn't just understand movies. He understood the raw, physical nature of true value. He lived through the eras where the dollar was still backed by something real, and he watched with a hawk's eye as the world began to trade its freedom for the illusion of programmable money. In this 58th chapter, we are looking at why John Wayne always kept a tangible reserve of silver and why he treated every transaction as a statement of character rather than just a trade of currency. While the masses in 2026 are begging for their digital allowances from the central banks, the sovereign man is building his own parallel economy. This isn't just about gold or silver. It's about the refusal to let the machine define what your labor is worth. The Duke knew that if they control your ability to trade, they control your ability to live. Doctor, record this opening protocol. A man without his own means of exchange is a man who is already wearing the master's collar. Today, we are learning how to break that collar with the weight of real metal and the grit of the frontier. Analyze the economic battlefield of 2026 with the precision of a scout. They want total financial transparency, which is just a fancy term for total financial surveillance. They want to know what you buy, who you buy it from, and whether your social score allows you to buy it at all. But John Wayne's philosophy was built on the privacy of the handshake. He preferred the weight of a silver coin and the honor of a direct trade over any bureaucratic ledger. He understood that economic sovereignty is the foundation of every other freedom. If you cannot feed your family without the grid's permission, you are not free. You are just a long-term guest in a prison. The Duke's silver strategy for 2026 is about returning to the physical realm. It is about stockpiling the assets that don't require a password, a signal, or a central bank's approval to function. He knew that when the great reset of his era or ours finally hits, the only things that will matter are the things you can hold in your hand and defend with your life. We are looking at his private ledgers and his real-world investments to find the blueprint for a life that is economically untouchable. The frontier is calling for men who know the difference between price and value. It's time to stop chasing their digital ghosts and start securing your family's future in the real world. In the second layer of the Duke's economic code, we find the doctrine of barter. John Wayne grew up in a world where a man's reputation was his most valuable asset, and that reputation allowed him to trade goods and services without the need for an intermediary. In 2026, the system has worked tirelessly to make us dependent on their verified platforms for every single exchange. They want to be the third party in every handshake. But the silver standard is about the direct frequency. The Duke often traded his time, his skills, and his resources for the things he needed, building a network of rugged interdependence that the taxman couldn't penetrate. He understood that true wealth is the ability to produce something that another sovereign man needs. In 2026, your most powerful economic weapon is your useful skill set. If you can fix a machine, grow food, or provide security, you are part of the underground economy that will outlast the collapse of the fiat world. The Duke's secret was his tactical generosity. He helped those who could help him back when the world went dark. He built a circle of tangible trade. By studying his personal business dealings away from the Hollywood spotlight, we see a man who was diversifying his sovereign assets long before it was popular. He owned land, he owned livestock, and he owned the tools of production. He knew that in a crisis, you can't eat a bank statement, but you can always trade a skill for a meal. Doctor, look at the historical data. The people who thrive during a currency collapse are the ones who can trade value directly, heart to heart, hand to hand. We are hardening our skills today to become the merchants of the new frontier. In the third layer of the Duke's economic protocol, we must address the vulnerability of the virtual. In 2026, the masses are obsessed with digital growth, but John Wayne was obsessed with physical permanence. He knew that anything that exists only on a server is an asset that can be confiscated, frozen, or deleted with the stroke of a bureaucrat's key. The Duke's archives reveal a man who invested heavily in what he called hard reality. He bought cattle, he bought timber, and he bought the very soil beneath his boots. He understood that while the value of a currency can be manipulated by the elites, the value of a productive acre of land or a healthy herd is dictated by the laws of nature. In the year 2026, sovereign wealth is not about how much credit you have, it's about how many physical cycles you control. The value of a man in the coming era will be measured by the weight of his supplies and the strength of his walls. The value of a man in the coming era will be measured by the weight of his supplies and the strength of his walls. Analyze the psychological warfare of inflationary control. In 2026, they used the debasement of currency to steal the time of the working man. When your money loses value, your life's labor is being harvested by the machine. But John Wayne's silver standard was a shield against this temporal theft. Silver and gold are stored time that doesn't rot and doesn't answer to a central committee. By holding real assets, the Duke was preserving his autonomy across decades. He didn't want to be a subject of the economic whims of the day. He wanted to be the master of his own timeline. In 2026, the most radical act of economic rebellion is patience and preservation. It is the refusal to participate in the debt-based consumerism that fuels the grid. The sovereign man doesn't borrow his life from a bank. He earns it, he stores it in real things, and he protects it with his honor. This is the quiet wealth that allows you to walk away from the table when the game is rigged. The Duke wasn't just a rich man. He was a free man, and there is a massive difference between the two that the modern world has forgotten. It's time to stop playing their game and start building your own bank on the bedrock of the frontier spirit. The fourth protocol of this silver standard deals with the underground network of mutual support. John Wayne understood that in a total collapse, liquid assets like silver are important, but liquid relationships are vital. He maintained a private circle of ranchers, builders, and thinkers who operated on the Handshake protocol. In 2026, the system wants to broker every interaction you have. They want to be the middleman so they can take their cut and record your behavior. But the Duke's strategy is about direct sovereignty. It's about knowing the man who grows your meat and the man who can fix your truck, and ensuring that those relationships are built on mutual grit rather than digital convenience. In the year 2026, your social capital isn't about how many followers you have. It's about how many people will trade with you when the system is offline. We are looking at the Duke's private ledger of favors, the way he used his influence and his resources to help others, creating a web of reciprocal independence. This is the parallel economy in its purest form. It is invisible to the trackers, it is untaxable by the bureaucrats, and it is unbreakable by the algorithms. To be economically sovereign in 2026, you must build your own local grid. You must create a network of trade that doesn't rely on a signal from a tower or a permission from a bank. The Duke's silver standard was the lubricant for this machine. It was the universal medium of exchange that allowed honest men to do business in the shadows of an increasingly dishonest world. Doctor, note this: the elite can control the big markets, but they can never control the micro markets of honorable men. We are building those markets today in the heart of the 58th archive. Character is the only currency that never devalues. We are closing this 58th chapter of the Edge archives with a final economic audit. Look at your life in 2026 and ask yourself, how much of my freedom is currently on a lease from the system? If they shut down your access today, what would you have left that is real? The silver standard is more than a medal. It is a declaration of financial independence. It is the absolute refusal to be a digital serf in a neo-feudal world. John Wayne's legacy is a reminder that a man's real worth is found in his ability to sustain himself and his own, regardless of the chaos in the city or the madness in the markets. He wasn't afraid of the end of the world because he didn't belong to this system's world. He belonged to the frontier. In the year 2026, you must decide where your loyalties lie. Will you stay in the digital enclosure, waiting for your next ration of programmable credit? Or will you cross the line and join this sovereign economy built on silver, soil, and the sanctity of the handshake? This is Andrew, signing off from the deep, metal-lined vaults of the 58th chapter. The silver is in your hand. The knowledge is in your mind. The frequency of economic defiance has been transmitted. Now, go out there and secure your family's future in a way that the machine can never touch. Stay rugged. Stay physical. Stay completely sovereign in an age of digital shadows. We will see you on the next ridge, where the men of value gather to trade in truth and steel. Godspeed, partner. The mission, our mission of total sovereignty, continues through the hard assets you secure today. Andrew out.